Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays, and this is WWE 2k22 MyGM mode. We are playing a Smackdown week number 2. If you missed it, last episode we booked our first show, and of course we drafted our roster. We had a big upset. Mandy Rose won the Women's Championship from Becky Lynch thanks to Bayley getting herself involved, costing Becky Lynch the match. Rey Mysterio is also our other champion. He's currently the world champion. It's a couple of different champions that you probably wouldn't be used to seeing, but I figured why not? Let's spice it up a little bit. So, of course, this week we're going to continue building on. We've got a few weeks until our pay-per-views, so we need to start establishing some rivalries, and we'll book our show in a moment. One thing we did unlock, though, from advancing to the next week is we have unlocked the ability to now change which arena we're going to have our show in. So originally we were doing high school gyms, which just has a 1,500 capacity. We sell tickets for $7 each, and it gives us a 5% increase in our show quality. So yeah, it is humble beginnings for sure. Now we can move up to a concert hall. Now the caveat to this is that it does cost us $10,000 to book this arena. So I guess when you think about it, it costs $10,000 to book it. It's a 500 extra person capacity. Is it really going to gain us much more money compared to the high school gym? Yeah, it will, but it's not going to be an overly, anything too crazy. So it is an upgrade for sure, and it's great that we've got it, but it's not going to be that much of a game changer. We will book it though. Now we have an optional goal where you can book one level 1 or higher rivalries. So that's what we need to do. We need to have one match on this card that is a level 1 or higher in a rivalry. If we do it, book superstars with under 2 star power gain 1 popularity. So a chance for, some of the lower card guys to move up a little bit, which is good. So that's an opportunity there. Now we also have unlocked the ability to improve our backstage crew. So what that does is it increases our show quality by 4%. So if we book one special match type, run-in, or GM interference, it will help the star power of our superstars again. And once again, we've unlocked basic lights, effects, and a pyro. That's another way to boost our show quality. So we need to book some superstars with some low star power, and that will help as well. And then finally, we've got the cameo appearances campaign. So this will help us gain some fans and improve the show quality by 4%. So this is a great way, really, just to, really bump up our show quality and go all in. So what we might do this week is try to have a really top-notch card, because we're going to spend $40,000 on logistics. So you want to make sure that you cash in a little bit there. So let's take a look at some free agents that are available. So we have $138,000 left in the budget after this week. So it's nothing too crazy. Now, our roster's pretty thin, so we can have to think about who are some guys that we could bring in, whether it's on a short-term basis or a long-term basis, that can make a bit of an impact. Now, we do have one local talent woman on the roster. I feel like we need to add one more local talent male just to kind of even things out and have someone that can probably take a loss all the time. So we're going to have a look at that. I don't really know if there's a particular great option here. We could go with Broderick here, who, I don't know, looks like he's straight out of Game of Thrones or some Lord of the Rings or something, some sort of fantasy thing here with his little dagger there. So he's got a bit of a gimmick about him. It's nothing too crazy. Tim Burr looks like he's just finished chopping up some wood, so that's also an option. The one that looks like a wrestler the most is Red Monsoon. So I feel like we might sign Red. Otherwise, it's the janitor, which, this guy, Carl Slickman, looks like he should be on commentary. Or Lurch Evans, looks like he's too cool to be here on SmackDown. So we might sign Red Monsoon. He looks like the only wrestler. He looks like he's, 45 and he's seen it all. He's done it all. So a veteran onto the roster. That's exactly what we need right now. Now the other option, of course, is to bring in a legend. And I'm not completely opposed to this, and we talked about it last episode. We might bring in a legend a little bit later on once we've established our roster. But you might have to kind of just do it when you can, because there's a chance that these legends might not be available when you want them. Obviously, Goldberg is the one right now that is more current. He's still been wrestling. So we do have Brock Lesnar available. We could do Lesnar and Goldberg as a match. Another option might be Undertaker. We could bring him in, or even John Cena. John Cena would cost, well, he's out of our budget, so we couldn't anyways, but he would cost a lot of money to do that for his length of time. $52,000 for Goldberg for 5 weeks, just over $10,000 a week is not too bad. That's not bad money, so that's an option. Obviously, The Rock as well. Why not bring in The Rock if you can? So we might pull the trigger on a legend soon, but I just feel like with the free agents here, the only one that I'd be interested in is probably Nakamura, and $35,000 for him is pretty good. So I'm thinking we might do that when we need to, because at the moment we've got a few wrestlers we haven't used yet, so we might just play out our roster. So yeah, we've got enough, now they've got yeah, so we've got enough. We just haven't used everybody yet. Like, for example, Elias didn't get a match yet, Sami Zayn, Rey Mysterio, we can do more of that. R-Truth hasn't wrestled yet, so there's a few guys that haven't featured, but probably next week or the week after, we're going to start feeling as though we need a few more. So if we think Nakamura is someone that might be useful, let's bring him in now while we can. So we'll sign Nakamura, he'll join the roster, and that will just give us one more option. I think we probably needed it. Our goal for this week is we need to schedule a run-in on the most popular available star this week. Now that should be Brock Lesnar. Yes, it is. So Brock Lesnar. Now, apparently if there's a run-in, it will cause a disqualification. So we'll have Brock Lesnar wrestle, and we might have him compete against R-Truth. So it might be a tough one for R-Truth. Now, we talked about Lesnar. Who's going to feud with him? Well, I think the most logical person would probably be Drew McIntyre. But one of the reasons why we did sign Kofi is we wanted to get him some revenge on Brock Lesnar for losing in, 20 seconds or something all those years ago. So let's bring in Kofi, and he can run in and try and cost Brock Lesnar this match against R-Truth. He is searching for a revenge, long overdue. I think he needs to get it. Now, continuing on, we've got Rey Mysterio and Sami Zayn. They're in a rivalry. As well as that, we've got a few more. We've got Liv Morgan. She's in a rivalry with Jody Garcia. And Bayley, Becky Lynch, Mandy Rose. That's kind of the situation there as well. We probably need to establish one more rivalry. Tyler Bate and Kofi Kingston, they entered in a rivalry, but I don't think we'll pursue that. One thing we probably need to do is we've got Nakamura as a heel now, but we still probably are very babyface heavy with our roster in terms of the male wrestlers. Elias probably needs to do a turn just to even things out. So we might do a promo this week with Elias. He might do a role change, and he can switch over to be a heel. He's got 5 promo skills, so he should have a really strong promo. Now, some other things we can do as well is we can generate some extra money by having somebody involved in an advertising segment, or we can generate some fans by doing a charity segment. I think we need the money, so unfortunately we're going to have to do this. It will lower the superstars' popularity if they have a poor performance. So probably need to make sure that whoever's involved has a good promo ability. So we might give that to Rhea Ripley. She's probably not going to be on the card for any other reason. So she's got 4 promo. I think she could do the job pretty well. For the main event, we mentioned before, we might do Rey Mysterio involved with Sami Zayn. They'll be on opposite ends though. Maybe let's have Rey Mysterio team up with Tommaso Ciampa, and Sami Zayn and Nakamura can team up as well. That might be a pretty fun match to do. And in the mid-card, maybe we'll go Becky and Shotzi one-on-one, so we don't give away our big match with Bayley. And then Becky Lynch hopefully will pick up a win and get herself in a position where she's once again #1 contender. So I'm pretty happy with this card. It's fully stacked. Lesnar's on, Becky's on, our champs are on, so I think it's going to be a pretty good show. So let's confirm it. It's going to cost us $52,000, so we need to make some money out of this, and hopefully the show quality is pretty good. So we've got Brock Lesnar and R-Truth, Kofi with the run-in, and this might cost Brock Lesnar the match. No, it won't, because R-Truth, he still can't get it done. 2-star match, not a great start start to the show. 2 stars is pretty average. Elias has a good promo. He's now a heel, so that's a good performance from Elias. We need to get him some popularity. Elias is criminally underutilized. He's still one of my favorites. I still like Elias. I'm one of the last remaining fans, but I still like him. Shotzi and Becky Lynch. We will simulate this one. We'll play the main event as Becky Lynch picks up the win. So a bit of a rebound win. 2-star match as well. Rhea Ripley, she does some advertising. She gains us $8,000. Not bad. Not a lot, really, but that's good enough. And we'll go ahead and we'll play the main event. And we will be on team... You know what? Let's have the challengers, Sami Zayn, try and pick up a win. Alright, as we get ready for Sami Zayn to team up with Nakamura, he's backstage here with Shinsuke, trying to negotiate. You and me tonight, let's do this. We can take down Mysterio, we can take down Ciampa. And there's the handshake. So those two, at least for tonight, are on the same page. So we'll see if that lasts long. Because I'm sure Nakamura wouldn't mind his chance at the Universal Championship at some point in the near future. Albeit, he only has a short-term contract, so he needs to try and make the most of the weeks that he's got to try and earn a new one. So every match is important for him. But speaking of champions, here he is, Rey Mysterio, our Universal Champion. His first chance to get in the ring as champion here in the series. He's got the belt in his hand, looks good, and he's going to be teaming up with Tommaso Ciampa tonight. Someone who, you know, might not be someone that Rey Mysterio is too familiar with, but a good opportunity for these two to connect and maybe form some sort of friendship, because I think they might need to watch each other's backs, especially now that Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura could be forming some sort of alliance here, at least for the short term, as Tommaso Ciampa is on his way to the ring. A dangerous competitor, we know that. He's got a huge amount of potential. Not a lot of popularity, let's be fair. He's only around the mid-40s or so. He's got a lot of work to do, but every match is critical for him to try and move up the ranks, because a win for him could certainly boost his popularity, maybe close, if not into the 50 mark, which could be huge for his career. You know, you get to 50, 55, all of a sudden, you're now in that upper tier that separates you from that middle, and you can also become a potential challenger for a championship. That's where Ciampa's got to be certainly thinking. That's what his mind needs to be on. But first, he's got to get through Sami Zayn, who is the #1 contender. He will have the title shot at the pay-per-view. So this is a crucial match tonight for Sami Zayn as well. He's going to team up with Nakamura. Clearly, they're on the same page, so that shouldn't be a problem. We've got the disco ball in the arena and all tonight. We are ready for a party. We are ready to dance. And a man that loves to do that is Shinsuke Nakamura. And not a huge audience in attendance tonight. It's a little bit strange to see Smackdown with only a couple of thousand people here, but look, that's just the dire straits that we're in at the moment. That is Smackdown in 2022. We need to build the fan base. We need to get the fans back in the building, and it's going to have to be up to Rey Mysterio to put on a show tonight to try and convince the fans to watch SmackDown instead of Raw. That's the goal anyways, as these two, Mysterio and Sami Zayn, get a chance to lock up here before the pay-per-view. Well, Sami Zayn can pick up a win tonight. Obviously, that'll give him a lot of momentum. A good chance to potentially come out of WrestleMania Backlash with the championship. So that's going to be in the back of his mind as well. He pins Rey Mysterio, and obviously he's got the one up on him. He's got momentum. He's in his head. It's all about the mind games, and Sami Zayn could certainly exploit that, and we know he's exactly the sort of guy who will. And look, you know, Sami Zayn may now have Shinsuke Nakamura in his back pocket, so Nakamura could look to run interference for Sami Zayn at the pay-per-view if Rey Mysterio is not careful. I don't know if he could potentially trust Tommaso Ciampa, so Rey Mysterio needs someone to watch his back. Is it going to be Ciampa? Yeah, I don't know about that, but hey, look, if Mysterio helps Ciampa get a win here tonight, that could certainly change things. And obviously, if Rey Mysterio maybe makes a couple of promises to Ciampa, hey, if you watch my back in the pay-per-view and you help me retain this championship, I'll give you the next shot. If that's the sort of agreement that Mysterio is willing to make, then he might have someone like Ciampa as an ally, but I don't think Ciampa's going to really go for anything else. He's the sort of guy that needs something in return. He needs some gold to convince him. Meanwhile, speaking of Ciampa, he's been attacked now by Sami Zayn. Nakamura and Mysterio in the ring at the moment. They're working away on one another. At the moment, Nakamura with the right hands to Mysterio, working away on the leg as well. He's got the upper hand. Ciampa wants a tag. He has to keep shrugging off Sami Zayn. He's a persistent little pest, isn't he, Sami Zayn? This time he manages to get a right hand, but that's all it's going to be. A right hand to the leg. And Sami Zayn says, you know what? That's not really working. Let's give up on that. He tries to attack Ciampa in the corner, but he misses completely. Sami Zayn's just making a fool of himself right now. Now he's going to go to the top of the rope, trying to help out his tag team partner, and that's a little bit more like it. He helps take Rey Mysterio to the ground for his tag team partner Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind a tag as well. Nakamura now heads to the top. Meanwhile, Ciampa comes along. He tries to help, but it's not going to work. It's a Meteora connecting double knees right there to Mysterio. But meanwhile, Nakamura's taunting the crowd, and a tag has been made. Rookie error there. As we move along into the matchup, Nakamura and Ciampa still in the ring. Sami Zayn wants a piece. He's not going to get it though. Ciampa, he's honing in on a potential win at the moment against Shinsuke Nakamura. Just need a couple of big moves. He might be with a chance. Nakamura has taken a beating. So has Sami Zayn. So has Rey Mysterio. But everyone's kind of hurting. Ciampa, though, he could be the worst of the lot at the moment. He really is struggling. And now a knee right to the head. That could be it. The cover, the hook of the leg. Mysterio is there, though. He'll break it up. Sami Zayn's too slow to get over there. Mysterio, even at his advanced stage, still one of the quickest here in the game. As now Mysterio tries to get in the ring, but Sami Zayn, he's right there to meet him with a clubbing right hand. Couple of big shots. Mysterio goes down. Sami Zayn's not finished yet as Ciampa goes to the outside. And now a double team. Nakamura and Zayn working away on Rey Mysterio. And this might have been their agreement. Win, lose, or draw. Let's take out Rey Mysterio. Let's try and weaken him for the pay-per-view. Let's make sure he doesn't make it to the pay-per-view to defend that championship. And it's not a bad strategy, I can tell you that right now. It always works. You come into a pay-per-view not 100%. There's always a much bigger chance that you're not going to walk out as champ. Sami Zayn up high. I don't think he'll have the distance to get there. He doesn't. But it was a distraction nonetheless for Ciampa and allows Nakamura to keep the offense going. And he slams him into the turnbuckle, throws him away like he's a pile of trash. And now the tag has been made. Sami Zayn back in here for his team. Sami Zayn got to be thinking about lining up Tommaso Ciampa with something big here. Oh no, look out! Tommaso Ciampa has nailed him with the big shot. Underhook into the big slam. And that is almost a 3 count. It would have been if Nakamura wasn't there. And a man who, his heart is made of black. He's not afraid of doing whatever it takes to win. Tommaso Ciampa in control, looking good. And now, head first goes Sami Zayn. He's been crushed at the moment by Tommaso Ciampa. Sami Zayn's fighting for his life. He's got nothing left to give. How much more can he take? Ciampa, now he's just taunting Sami Zayn. Why not? Couple of squats during a match. Yeah, look, you got to get your workout in when you can. And Sami Zayn is getting worked over at the moment by Ciampa. And he's playing a bit of cat and mouse. He's trying to take a bit of a breather. But Sami Zayn, everyone's to the outside here. And Sami Zayn risked it all. Went for the big move. High risk. But it really didn't connect too much. This time, though, Sami Zayn connects as he slams the skull of Ciampa into the ring post. Oh, look, fair enough. You're going to go for the shooting star press off the top of the rope. You want to make sure you connect, but it didn't quite work out for Sami Zayn. Nakamura trying to get a cheap shot there on Ciampa. Ciampa, though, missing. Nakamura missed Ciampa. Ciampa fired back with a strike of his own, and now he might be going for a couple more squats. He needs another set. Well, this is ridiculous from Tommaso Ciampa, but you got to be fair. Is he focused on winning the match, or is he just trying to make a bit of a statement? Mysterio back in now. Well, this is a chance for Sami Zayn to get his hands on the champion one more time. Rey Mysterio, though. Facebuster plants him right into the canvas. And he's groggy. Sami Zayn, he doesn't know where he is at the moment. Mysterio ducks underneath a shot there from Shinsuke Nakamura. And Mysterio realizes he's in the wrong part of town. He's got to get out of there, and he gets struck, though, by a clothesline from Sami Zayn. And Zayn going to the top. Sami went for the flying crossbody, missing out there. And Mysterio now plants him with a DDT. Mysterio, though, thinks that Ciampa is the man to finish the job. A quick stint there by Rey. But Ciampa says, you know what, Rey? You finish it. This is your guy. Sami Zayn's the guy that you've got a problem with. You do the job here. You finish it off. Sami Zayn, double foot stomp. And Sami went for the big haluva kick. I don't think he got it, but he got it that time. Gotta be all. Sami Zayn nailed him in the face. But Ciampa manages to get there in time, breaks up the pinfall. Sami Zayn can't believe it. Now he's going to head to the corner again, and he wants to get a bit more momentum. And Sami's, oh no, what is he thinking here? He's got the turnbuckle padding off. Referee's not going to be happy about that. As, oh no, Mysterio, here we go. He's got him set up for the 6-1. Oh no, Sami Zayn realized. Rey Mysterio tries to take out Sami Zayn from the knee again. Mysterio will tag out. Ciampa comes back in. Sami Zayn. He's got that turnbuckle padding exposed. Oh, was that low? That was very close to being a low blow. And oh, Ciampa into the turnbuckle exposed. And apparently the referee thinks it's a DQ. Well, Ciampa's taken a bullet for Sami Zayn, but that DQ, that's a bit ridiculous. Well, a controversial ending to the tag team match, but Rey Mysterio and Tommaso Ciampa pick up the victory over Sami Zayn and Nakamura, but that should heat up that rivalry indeed. So there you have it. That's our show booked and all done. Let's simulate the Raw show and let's compare. So our opening match got a 2-star rated match. Raw's, it was a Hell in a Cell match. Give me a break. Hell in a Cell on Raw. Yeah, okay. 3-star rated match. Fair enough. But other than that, we actually competed really well. 2-star match for the Becky and Shotzi match. They had Kevin Owens and Trent Seven, which was 1.5. And our main event was 2.5 stars. And theirs was 2.5 as well, with women involved there in a tag team match. So, yeah, I think we did pretty well. Other than the stupid Hell in a Cell match, we would have had a real chance of winning that show. We had an 86 rated score, which is good, I think. We had 72,000 fans increase, and overall we gained 47,000. So we didn't gain a lot of money. I suppose we spent quite a bit to try and get a decent rating. But there you go. So a controversial finish. You know, we had to get ourselves disqualified by removing the ring padding to cost. And it cost himself the match, I suppose. But the ratings here on the social, apparently Tommaso and Ciampa, Rey Mysterio work okay as a tag team, so the feedback wasn't that strong. Some people don't like the fact that Brock Lesnar's a heel now. And some people don't think Elias is going to do very well as a heel. So pretty much typical social media. They hated everything we did. So there you go. But we did successfully accomplish the commissioner's goal this week. We have been rewarded with a power card, free advertising, booking. Well, I think we need that. We need all the money we can get. So I'll take that as a win, I suppose. On the Raw side of things, they had an 89 rating score show, so slightly higher than us. They gained 80,000 fans, and they only made $4,000. Well, I'm not surprised. They spent money on a Hell in a Cell. Apparently Tony Storm and Nikki ASH are an amazing tag team. So, not that tag teams really matter, but they are an amazing team. So good for them, but tag teams are irrelevant. But here is the chase. We are about 15,000 fans behind. Money-wise, they have the edge on us. Big E's their WWE champion. Charlotte's their women's champion. I didn't realize that, but that's interesting. I suppose Big E getting the re-push. Stephanie believes in Big E. But now we enter week number 3. And Brock Lesnar, that loser Kofi attacked me during the last fight. I'm not going to stand for garbage like that. I want to settle things in the ring with him within the next 3 weeks. Well, Brock, there's a pay-per-view coming up. How about you do it at the pay-per-view? So we'll say, okay. Well, we're a man of a lot of words, aren't we? Good. You mess with Lesnar, you pay the price. That I can believe. I can believe that indeed. So now we've unlocked the Capital Wrestling Center and the Gorilla Crew. So that gives us 3,000 capacity, a 6% increase on show quality. So that's okay. And the ring crew, well, it would give us a 6% increase on show quality as well. So basically, we just have to pay the $15,000 fee and then keep a recurring fee to keep utilizing that. So yeah, look, that's okay. Now, in terms of roster, free agents, The Miz, permanently here, $200,000 it cost to get him. Drew Gulak's also an option. This guy, Brute Force, what a name. If we ever need a security guard, he is your man. It even says it right there on his t-shirt. He is the man to pick from. He's tough. Brute Force, what a name. I mean, you'd hate to be not very brutal if you had a name like that, but Sammy George, I feel like she could be a decent acquisition to the women's division. Only for 5 weeks, so I feel like if I'm gonna bring in a local talent, I kind of want them to be on a more of a permanent basis, because if you're gonna use them, you kind of want them to stay around and kind of benefit from the fact that they've been on your show. If you keep bringing in different local names, then you just keep bringing in people that have zero popularity to really work with. Nia Jax is also an option. We won't be doing that. In terms of the legends, you can see Hulk Hogan's now an option, Hollywood Hogan. A few different names, like you could even bring in Eric Bischoff, for example. Not that there's really managers or anything like that. Goldberg, you bring him in now for 10 weeks. So yeah, it will change as the weeks go on, which is good. I think we'll be bringing in a legend after our first pay-per-view. I think we've got to do something big to make sure that our ratings stay strong. And I'd like to get The Undertaker. He'd be fun. But we'd have to probably think about who's going to work the best with Brock Lesnar. He's our most popular guy. So that's kind of what we have to assess going forward. So Rey Mysterio feuding with Sami Zayn at the moment. Still level 1, but he has 2 different rivalries with Sami Zayn. One's a tag team, one's a regular one. So I'm not sure how that really works. I don't know why it just didn't advance the actual Sami Zayn rivalry. But, you know, it is what it is. Our other rivalries, well, they didn't really advance. They're now gone because we didn't use them, didn't utilize them this week. So we have to it's kind of like the old school way, I suppose, in the old general manager modes. You have to keep each rivalry going every single week, otherwise you kind of lose that rivalry. So that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, look, a couple of weeks away from our pay-per-view now. Obviously, I think at the card at the moment, I'm not sure how many matches we get, maybe 4, I'm guessing, but Becky Lynch, Mandy Rose in the rematch, Brock Lesnar, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, and we'll have to try and fit one more match. Maybe it might be Tommaso Ciampa and Nakamura. That might be the way to go. And Bayley, maybe she gets a match if there's any more than that. But that's kind of the preliminary thoughts at the moment for the pay-per-view. I don't think we get a lot of matches, and quite frankly, we don't really have the space for that many more matches. So we kind of just have to use what we can do. But in terms of other things, you can add 1 week onto a free agent superstars contract duration with that power card. You can double the cost of an opposing brand's matches for the next week's shows. I tell you what, if we get a bit of money up our sleeve, that's probably a good one, because they're spending money on Hells and the Cells and steel cages and everything. I'm sure they're just going all out. The ratings, though, we're very close. We had a good week this week. We're not too far behind. This is the budget, though, is the concern. They've got a lot more money to spend than us, so they definitely can play around with that. And they might even bring in a big-name legend pretty soon. And, they do have a few more fans than us as well. So we do need to try and pick that up as soon as we can. We need to schedule a run-in on our next show to fulfill another commissioner goal, which I like. I like the fact that we have to do a goal each week, and we've got some talent goals as well. So Lesnar and Kofi and Becky Lynch wants a title shot. So the big guns, now 2 of our biggest names, making quite a lot of demands. So that's what we've got so far. A few weeks away from the pay-per-view, we will be back with another edition of MyGM Mode very soon. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it and subscribe. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. See you in the next one.